The story is actually the part 2 of the first exhibition that we did 7 years ago, when we actually introduced Pierre Chapo to the American market. Right after coming out of the university as architects, they went around the world and they started their journey in South America. They went to Central America and arrived in America. After having completed this journey in America, they returned to France. And that's where the story actually starts from. It's the first gallery that they actually established in Paris after their return in Paris. They took on the idea of the American spirit, of trying to actually be promoting an idea of commerce in something that they really enjoy. One of their strong point, I should say, was the ceramic from La Borne. And it was showcased. I mean, they had different, ceramic galleries in Paris, but she included that in her program. The idea about La Borne and Chapo, I think, have a very similar experience in the sense that they both were promoting a way of life, I think, first and foremost. The idea is, once again, a stepping stone, because basically in 2 years there's going to be the centennial of the birth of Pierre Chapo. So I thought that it was somewhat interesting to combine somehow those conversations. We started in 1997, then we come to today's with the fact that the reason why Chapo became so famous in those days was because Nicole, his wife, opened this gallery. He was trained as an architect, and you can see it in the way he actually applies his thought process in constructing furniture. He loved the wood. He felt that the wood had a lot of something very sensual, and therefore he wanted to use that wood. And this little detail here, which reveals a kind of an opposition in terms of the grain of the wood, is so subtle but so important. It's because his work is all about subtlety. This was my introduction to the world of Chapo. Obviously it's a very massive object. It's not something that disappears. And yet it is. When you start to get involved with the work, you see that the entire bibliothèque can be dismantled. They went to Japan in the early 60s, and they were completely mesmerized by the culture. And they came back and they basically created those screens which could be covered by some kinds of paper. In terms of dimension, look, I mean, this thing is like 2 meters 60. That's like, you want to make a statement when you have a cabinet like this. It's so chic, but once again, it's so understated, especially on pieces of that dimension and of that weight. Wood is a living thing. A chair is like an architecture in itself, obviously, for the very basic needs of it. Look at the construction. It's like an origami. This was created before he went to Japan. But yes, indeed, there's some comparison in terms of taking the craft to such a high level that one of the beauties, this is obviously where the wood and then the leather intersect. It's all wooden peg. It's just, the attention is so great.